Well, guess what? It's time to find that match, that person you want to be with. And just listen to my words. As my words heal you and you feel connected with me. And I want you to feel that Reiki can help you in your life daily. Just have to accept and listen. Listen, that's all. I will work with you and make you feel that you can just do anything you want in the world that is helpful to your life. You get healed, you get relaxed, you get calmed down, and you feel peaceful. Just one-on-one with you, only you. Now, so if you want to find someone, what do you like? What are you looking for? That's how you have to think about it. Okay, I like to read. I'll find somebody that reads. I like to watch movies. Find someone that watches movies. I like to go fishing. Find someone that go fishing. I like to bowl. You might be into sports. You want to find somebody. You want to find somebody that's into the things you're into. Now, you're not gonna find 100%. You might get 90% someone into all of what you're into. There's always going to be like a 10% that's not going to be exact duplicate of you. That's what you want, exact duplicate of you? No. You want someone you can share your thoughts with. Someone you can move around with. Someone that understands what you do. They got to understand what you do in your daily life. They can understand what makes you who you are. And they got to understand who you are as well. Now, how do you find such a person? During the pandemic, everybody went online. You have to go through a lot online, so you don't know who's real and who's not. And that's the problem. And now you got AI out there to deal with too. It's hard. It's hard. Should you find somebody to work? Taboo. Sometimes it doesn't work out the way you think it works out. There's always something causing tension and friction there. And the rest at work will say, hey, I heard you going out with so-and-so at work. People get into your business. Just be prepared for that. You might bump into somebody at the local, wherever you hang out. We used to call it watering hole. That's the bar. Maybe go there. Or you go to the movies by yourself. You're tired of doing things by yourself, and you want to find somebody. You never know when somebody you bump into by accident could lead to something. Or someone you're talking to on the phone as friends. I mean, it's a friend. You never thought about that person as more than a friend. You never know. But don't rush into anything. Let it work out. Because you gotta fall for each other. And that's where people make mistakes. They don't fall for each other. Fall for each other means eventually you just have to love that person. Not love as a friend or an object. I love that car. I love that dress. I love those jeans. I love that shirt. I love that jacket. I love that pair of glasses. I love my pet. Because that's a different kind of love. When you love someone else, that's real love. That's romance. That's beyond caring. It's words can't even describe what kind of love that is. And you know when you love it, you get the little watering in your eye, your little twinkle there. You get into that love mode. But first of all, you got to find that person to kick in that mode too, to experience that. And you got to take your time. You got to make sure that person is what you want in a person. Because if you don't, and you slip up, something might open up in 3 months being with that person. Now, everybody's going to rush in, or going to want the person to move out of their place, or you move in with them. When you move, you got to take it slow. It takes time to connect. Like right now, we're connecting here right now. I'm connecting with you. I'm helping you guide your way into that romance, guide your way into that love. The words resonate. And think of that fear, because a lot of people are afraid to walk up to say somebody and say, hey, I think you're pretty interesting. Would you like to get a drink? Or like go to coffee shops, get some coffee. You know? Just walk with me along the beach or on the sidewalk. If it's raining, you got to do the indoor activities. I think taking them to the movies might be too much. And if the movies are still open anymore, because everybody does everything inside. But there's places that you can go. You know, I can't mention names, but a lot of arcades have turned into entertainment centers where you can play arcade games. And two, you can join the game with virtual reality. You put the helmet on, and you could be shooting, virtual creatures and things like that. If you're into that, or go racing on a bike, a dirt bike, hold on to it. Both of you can be doing it at the same time. There's a lot of these places are opening. I can't mention names, but you get to understand. You get to have fun with that person. That's what you need. See if that person's into that stuff. If they're not into that, and you're into that, there's a stumbling block. If you're into the same things, you can't be into the same things 100%. I say 90%. And 10%, that's their own space. That's what they do. And that's them. But 90%, they should be right with you. Because that 10%, you could be into computers, you can be into video games, you could be into something they are not into. Same thing, they might like to exercise and you don't. So that's where that 10% comes in, okay? But, hey, 90% is great because that means you and that person have something in common. Same interests, you both laugh, you both smile, you watch stuff that makes funny. Like I said, what makes you laugh might not make them laugh. So don't hold that against it. That's in that 10% boundary. But that 90%, you have them. That 10%, that's their little area where they are doing whatever they're doing. And you got the 90% of them. Okay? And you have things, take them out. Go out to dinner. Invite them out to dinner. Sit down, talk. And your attention should be on them. Not this person over here, not this person over here. That somebody walks and you took, no, then you're not really into them. And you need to tell them so you don't hurt them. You should be, at the point at that restaurant, you should be interested in them. There's no love yet. It takes time to love. And when it happens like that, you jump on the opportunity. And when you find that happen, you jump. You have to jump because you don't want that person to get out of your hands. You want that person to make it go of it. I've helped a lot of people find true love. I have people come to me and say, here's a book. Which girl? I've dated all these girls. Which one? Which one should I go after and have a life with? I took the book. I flipped through the pages. I went through each one. I got a strong feeling with this one. And I said, hey, because I'm also psychic. And I can pick up. And that girl really loved this guy. This guy was they were working in a major company here with me. I was the only American. They were outside the United States. Okay. But they came. They didn't know about our culture and things like that. But this one guy, I worked with him. I didn't know him that personally. We got in touch. He invited me over to his place. I had lunch. One time his mom was visiting out of the state, and she was there. She cooked a meal. Very nice. So he felt comfortable enough to say, hey, Albert, can you help me? At that time, I was a Reiki master, yeah. but I always have the ability. I'm born with the psychic ability. It's strong with me. But anyway, so he said, I dated so many women. And he was only 25 by that time, so I was like, wow. He had a big book, an album with all these women. He had 42 women in there. Wow. All right. Anyway, I went through the book, like I said, and I found the girl. I looked into each one of their eyes, and I picked up which one was the right one. I picked her. Hey, they got married. She wanted to talk to me, but she could only speak. She couldn't speak English. He translated. She was happy, grateful. They didn't invite me to the wedding. It was a big wedding. Well, he's wealthy, but it doesn't matter if he's wealthy or poor. Still help. No, I didn't get paid for that or anything like that because I never asked. He was gonna fly me down to his country, pay for the airline ticket, limo, pick up everything. I didn't have to worry about nothing. I should have went. I couldn't go at the time because I was in a contract. I couldn't go. That's what I usually do. I was doing contracts for big companies. I'm the person they come to see. But you have to understand, all like him, and there was others too. I was in a training class, and I put up two because they were two opposites, but they like each other. They came back too on a job I was on. They said, "Hey, thanks Albert for bringing us together," and then we get married. That's good. I'm glad that happened. But can you too? You listen so far. You're intrigued and understanding, and you're looking for that person. Remember, always find somebody like yourself in the same situation. You're single, you're not married, you have no children. That's it. Okay? If you're divorced, looking for somebody, and you're separated. Separated means you're still married, by the way. Okay? Going through a divorce, you're still married. So once you're finally divorced, you're free to find somebody. Now, you're divorced, you might have kids, and the other person is divorced and has kids. You guys are perfect. You're both 90% right there. Boom. The 10% is that's your space and your attitude. You know what's going on with your life. So you have no problems. Now there'll be a lot of kids, but hey, if most of the kids are grown up, if it's not. But you gotta understand, those who are single and never had kids and haven't gone through all that already, but you have gone through everything already and you had kids, they will never understand. And there'll be arguments. It might not work that way. I know it's tough. So that's why you gotta find somebody just like you in your situation. It works that way. That way it has less problems. Because say they want children and you don't want children. You see what I mean? Because you already had the children. You're done. But they want children. It's not fair to them. You see? So you have to get somebody on the same wavelength with you and your same reasons, same beliefs, and then make it work that way. I know it's hard to understand, but it works. Remember, 90% of that person, it should be a match. 10% is what they are into, and you might not be in there. You're not gonna get 100%. It's gonna be always 90%. Okay? All right. Well, you'll find that person. I know you will. I really know. Listen to this, the whole thing, and accept. This is healing. Also, I'm giving you advice as well. But you feel the energy. You feel this good energy. There's no negative energy here. We take off what is on you that's blocking you from finding that person as well. Sometimes there's a block, a barrier, and it's like invisible that's blocking you from going forward. Now you can go forward. Now you can make it happen. Okay? Hey, I send you protection. Send you love. And healing. You feel at peace now. Hey, thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, stay tuned for another session. Okay?